This video shows the process to make a 14 pocket bifold passport wallet with 9 horizontal card pockets, 1 ID pocket with an open window, 2 passport or document pockets, 1 secret card pocket, and a large cash pocket. The pattern can be drawn using a drafting table, but I prefer to use AutoCAD and print the pattern in 1/8 of an inch acrylic for sturdy cutout templates and glue-up jigs. The materials used here are 4-ounce saddle leather for the wallet back to add a little strength, and 2-ounce saddle leather for reinforcement parts in areas of high wear like the outer corners and spine areas. And 1.5-ounce pigskin is a very durable lining leather that feels nice on the fingers. 2-ounce saddle leather is also good for cards because thin saddle leather or strap leather is very durable and will droop to the shape of the cards you use to create a perfect fit without breaking them or adding excess bulk. To use acrylic cutout templates, lightly clamp the template on top of the leather and draw a hobby knife along the edge. After the parts are cut out, the top layers can be stitch marked. I like to use Crimson Hide's 5mm stitching chisels or 3/16" holes spaced 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Then color the leather and bevel and skive the edges before the parts are glued, punched through, and stitched together. Skiving down the edges makes the wallet easier to stitch along its seams, which helps to protect the thread and reduces the overall bulk of the wallet. And since the 2-ounce leather is already thin, care is needed not to disturb the natural edge. Then all the parts with exposed edges can be burnished. I like to use gum tragacanth as a slicking agent, and handheld wood burnishing tools for the small parts or an electric stand burnisher for the larger assembled pieces. It is easier to apply edge paint before the hard to get at edges are glued and stitched together, and an edge roller pen works great for this. Also, an acrylic top coat on the flesh side of the unlined card pockets needs to be applied and allowed to dry before assembly too, which will help make the pockets a little more durable. The card pockets are stitched on top of the larger 6" by 4" passport or document pockets, one pocket at a time. For the ID pocket and secret card pocket, 2-ounce saddle leather is used for the lining, and the pocket window is cut out after it is stitched. Tapping down the thread with a small leather finishing hammer strengthens the stitching seam, and the acrylic pattern piece works great as a glue-up jig to keep the pocket flat while the glue dries. The inside card pocket attachment tabs are oversized 1/8 of an inch to stretch tightly, which can then be trimmed off flush with the pocket parts before assembly. This set of heavy-duty dividers is one of the Leathercraft tools I use the most. I always check to make sure they are set to 1/8 of an inch, and the weight of the tool does the work to mark the seam line for my stitching chisels to follow without scratching the surface. Also, using a smooth flat surface like a marble slab makes scribing a line on thin leather easier, and the marble is the right surface to tap with a smooth finishing hammer to flatten the seams too. As the edges of the lined leather parts are being stitched together and their exposed edges finished for the final assembly, check to make sure all the pieces line up close enough that they can be glued together square, especially if you're trying to line up 10 layers of multiple types of leather and thicknesses like on the bottom corners of this wallet. Flat acrylic glue-up jigs work great to keep the pieces flat, and a dowel works great to glue in the lining around a natural curve. After the interior pockets are sewn together, it is easier to attach the back one side at a time. Then the edges can be trimmed, sanded flush, beveled, burnished, and finished with edge paint. Applying a little leather conditioner will protect the leather and make it soft and supple, and a bone folder is an excellent tool to use to open the pockets up. It is essential that the leather pieces are glued to hold them in place during stitching, or the holes will have difficulty lining up, so make sure you use the bone folder around the seam. Then check to make sure all the pockets work. All the pockets will be tight and stiff at first, but will droop and patina with the user over time. To care for a wallet made with saddle leather, avoid getting the wallet wet, and apply a little leather conditioner as needed.